Welcome to JGI JCE Connect revision classes on modern interface design. So we were revising the second module, that is user interface design process, wherein in the previous video we had discussed what are the interface design goals and the principles of good design. Until in the previous video we had discussed until ordering of data and content. So in this video we shall be discussing ordering of web pages, navigations and visually pleasing compositions. So we resume our discussion from ordering the web pages. So in addition to aforementioned considerations, the design and ordering of a web page must reflect estimated importance of the page elements to the viewers. So therefore, it now becomes extremely important to establish the levels of importance in the web pages. That is, we need to establish a high to low level of importance for the items of information that are going to appear on a website. So the nature of information should always suggest ways to divide and organize the information most useful to the viewers. A technique to aid in determining importance and organizing websites is that of card sorting, so which we had already described in the step 2 in the previous video when we were talking about information requirement collection. So similarly, then it becomes essential to place critical information near the top of the website. So critical information should always be placed near the top of the website as far as possible. And similarly, we need to place important items at the top of the page and always concentrate on organizing information clearly and place important items consistently throughout the web page, and the structure should be very easy for comparison. So all these things have to be taken care of when we are trying to order a web page. So followed by it is navigation and flow. So navigation and flow means that navigation through a screen or a web page must be easy to accomplish, and it must be made obvious by grouping and aligning the screen controls and by using proper line borders in order to guide the human eyes in proper navigation. So sequentially direct a person's attention to elements in terms of their importance using various display techniques and focus on most important parts of the screen. Always a tap through a screen is a logical order of information displayed and locates command buttons, and always we are supposed to place command buttons at the end of the tab order sequence. So for screens containing huge amounts of data, try to locate the most important or frequently used screen controls to the top left of the screen where initial attention is usually directed. So this will reduce the overall number of eye and manual control movements that are needed to work with a screen. So product style guides recommend a left to right orientation. This orientation is based upon an assumption that people always read from left to right. Therefore, a screen must be organized in this left to right orientation fashion. So similarly, a screen must always be visually pleasing. So therefore, we can provide this visually and aesthetically pleasing composition by adopting qualities such as balance, symmetry, regularity, predictability, sequentiality, economy, unity, proposition, simplicity, and groupings. Thus, a cluttered or unclear screen requires that some effort be expended in learning and understanding what exactly is presented in it. The screen user who must deal with the display is always forced to spend time in learning and understanding what is into the screen. So, therefore, visually pleasing composition draws attention, conveying a positive message clearly and quickly. A lack of a visually pleasing composition is distorting the meaning and of the screen and slows down the usage as well as confuses the end user. So therefore, graphics design experts have performed a research wherein have performed a research on varying different number of participants, wherein they have arrived at a conclusion that the principles for what constitutes a visually pleasing appearance, the numbers derived for principles for constitutes of visually pleasing appearance are always high. So these include balance, symmetry, regularity as mentioned. So therefore, here, what do we mean by balance in a visually pleasing screen? So it means that we can create a screen balance by providing equal weight of screen elements right from left to right and bottom to down. So if you can observe this figure 3.1, it is illustrating balance, which is nothing but stabilization or equilibrium, a midway center of suspension. The design elements have equal weight right from left to right as well as from top to bottom. So the opposite of balance is instability. You can look into the second diagram here. So wherein you observe that the design elements are ready to topple over. So, a discomfort with instability or imbalance is reflected every time we straighten a picture hanging askew on the wall. So, therefore, balance is most often informal or asymmetrical with the elements of different colors, sizes, and shapes being positioned to strike the proper relationships. So, dark colors, unusual shapes, large objects are heavier, whereas light colors, regular shapes, and small objects are lighter. So, balance on a screen is accomplished through creating the display itself, maintaining an equal weighing of components on each sides of both the horizontal as well as the vertical axis, and centering the titles and illustrations. So the next characteristic is symmetry. So we must try to create symmetry by replicating the elements left and right of the screen center line. So it's illustrated in figure 3.2, wherein symmetry is axial duplication. A unit on one side of the center line is exactly replicated on the other. So if you can observe here, right? So this exact replication creates a form of balance, right? So opposite to symmetry is asymmetry. So here our eyes tends to perceive something as more compressed or compact when it is symmetric, right? But whereas asymmetric arrays are perceived as larger. So the next factor is regularity. So regularity seems to create or establish standard and consistently spaced horizontal and vertical alignment points, right? So you can also use similar size elements, shapes, or even maybe the colors and spacing, right? So all the components here could be of same size, shape and color, as well as the spacing between them could also be same. So basically regularity is nothing but uniformity of elements based on some plan or a principle. But regularity in a screen design can be achieved by establishing a standard and consistently spaced column and row starting points for the screen elements. So it is also achieved by using elements in similar size, shape, color and spacing. So irregularities exist when no such principle or plan is utilized. So the critical element on the screen will stand out better, but however, if it is not regularized. So the next one is predictability. So in order to create predictability by being consistent and following conventional orders or arrangements. So predictability suggests a high conventional order or a plan. So viewing one screen enables one to predict how another will look like. So viewing a part of a screen enables one to predict how the rest of the screen will look, right? But the opposite of predictability is spontaneity, right? So it suggests that no plan or organization is used here. So the user becomes unable to predict the structure of the remainder of the screen, right? So in screen design, predictability is also enhanced through design consistency. And moving on to sequentiality. So sequentiality must be provided by arranging the elements in such a manner that these elements can guide the eye, they can guide the eyes through the screen in an obvious, logical and rhythmic and efficient manner. So basically eyes tend to be attracted to a brighter element before a lesser one, and it also focuses on isolated elements before the elements in the group, and graphics before text, similarly colors before black and white, and so on, right? So the next one is the economy. So sequentiality is a plan of presentation to guide the eye through the screen in logical and rhythmic order, and most important information significantly placed, right? So then moving on to economy. So we try to provide economy by using as few styles, display techniques and as minimum colors as possible. So economy is the frugal and judicious use of display elements to get the message across as simple as possible. The opposite to it is intricacy. So intricacy is the use of many elements just because they exist. So when you try to make use of too many elements, too many different types of fonts or colors, then the economy in the screen design tries to detract from clarity. So therefore, economy in screen design means mobilizing just enough display elements and techniques to communicate the desired message. Followed by it is unity. So we try to create unity by using similar sizes, shapes, colors or related informations by leaving less space. By leaving less space between the elements of the screen than the space left at the margins, right? So unity is coherence, that is a totality of elements that are visually all put on one single piece. So with unity, the elements seem to belong to each other, and opposite of unity is fragmentation, wherein each piece retaining its own character. Right? So in screen design, similar sizes, shapes, colors prompt unity, and does white space borders at all display boundaries. Right? Unity should exist between the related screens and the website screens as well. Moving on to simplicity. So basically simplicity is to optimize the number of elements on the screen, right? So try to minimize the alignment points, especially both horizontal as well as columnar, and provide standard grids of horizontal and vertical lines to position the elements. So simplicity is directness and singleness of form. A combination of elements that result in ease of comprehending the meaning of a pattern. Right? But whereas complexity, with graphics designer usually considers this concept as simplicity, we will address it as complexity since it has been addressed by this term in various different literatures, right? So complexity is reverse that of simplicity, wherein the elements are not of unique sizes, shapes, colors, and are not properly arranged either in both horizontal and vertical composition. Moving on to groupings. So groupings between the screen elements are also very essential, as it aids in establishing structure and meaningful relationships and a meaningful form. So in addition to providing an aesthetic appeal, grouping aids in information recall and results in faster screen search. So groupings can be performed either by making use of white spaces or providing proper line borders around the groups, or by making use of proper backgrounds. Right? So we shall see groupings with white spaces. So these are used to provide adequate separation between the elements using white spaces. So for web pages, we carefully consider the trade-off between screen white space and the requirements for page scrolling, right? So groupings using borders. So here we try to incorporate line borders for focusing attention on groupings or related informations, right, guiding the eye throughout the screen. So we do not exceed 3-line thickness or 2-line style on the screen and create lines consistent in both height and length. So leaving sufficient padding space between the information and the surrounding borders. Right? So then grouping using backgrounds. So here we try to consider incorporating contrasting background for related information. So the background should not have the emphasis of the screen component that should be attended to, right? So reverse higher contrast or emphasizing techniques for the screen components to which attention should be drawn must always be given a attention. So followed by it, there still exists some principles of good design. The first one is the next one is the visual style in a web page design. So the style of a website and its visual characteristics, including the color, typography, graphics, the shape of the design elements, and the relationship between its components, including their locations, should be maintained throughout the entire website. So this will provide unity and harmony to the website, and it also gives consistent identity. So visual style must reflect the needs and the goals of the website owner and must vary depending upon the website's purpose. So visual elements of the website including the layout, use of colors, fonts, and they also include the fonts influence a site's credibility, and which all these factors influence a site's credibility and quality ratings. So individual screen controls and group of screen controls must be distinct. So screen controls should be, when you try to design screen controls, you should see to that they should not touch the window borders, nor they should touch each other, and field and group borders should not touch the window borders and each other. Similar things are to be applied to the buttons also, right? So distinctiveness is achieved by providing adequate amount of separation between the adjacent elements. And then we have focus and emphasis. So apply a visual emphasis technique to draw attention to most important and promising critical elements of the screen. So in order to increase the visual emphasis, so what we can do is we can provide emphasis techniques. We can make use of emphasis techniques such as higher brightness, reverse polarity, or distinctive typefaces like bold, italics, underlines, or blinking, or large size animations, etc. Right? So in a web page design, we always need to call attention to a new or changed content and ensure that the page text is not overwhelmed by the page background. Right? And then moving on to the next one, that is presenting information simply and meaningfully. So presenting information simply and meaningfully, so means that the fundamental goal here is to offer clarity and simplicity, comprehensibility in organization, and efficient information assimilation, and along with it a pleasantness in tone. So how do we offer this legibility, readability, right? So when you are trying to present the information as simple as possible and meaningfully, we have to provide legibility. That is, the information must be noticeable and distinguishable. Similarly, providing readability means that the information is to be identifiable, interpretable, and attractive, and present the information in usable form says that translations, references to documentations should not be required just to interpret and understand the information. right? And similarly, we can make use of implicit and explicit visual lines to guide the eye to scroll through the screen, and always try to be consistent in appearance and procedural usage. So followed by it, we also have to pay some basic attention to typography. So typography is nothing but typeface in the name of font type, right? Such as Times New Roman, Arial, etc. So when we say typography, it means that we are supposed to make use of simple, common, and familiar fonts to achieve best reading speeds, and use no more than two different type families in the same screen, right? And we can also concentrate much on font size, right? So always try to use no more than three sizes in a same screen, right? So for a graphical system, we always, it's better to make use of a 12-point menu and 10-point for windows, right? So font styles, when it comes to font styles and weights, so we do not have to use more than two styles of same family. That is, we can make use of standard and italics, or italics is best in case of serif font. And two weights that can be used are regular and bold, right? So when we use bold, we can call for attention or create some hierarchy. So in web pages, always we try to make use of underline only to indicate the